The first GOP debate of the 2024 presidential cycle just happened, and I'm here to give hot off the debate reactions as it just concluded. I want to start off by giving you my candidate ranking, and then we'll talk about the big story of the night, which was Vivek fighting with a number of candidates. But let's start with my rankings. I'm going to start at the bottom and work up. The candidate that I think did worse in this debate was Asa Hutchinson. When you're a small, low-tier candidate like Hutchinson, you have to stand out, and he just didn't. I can't say he did anything wrong other than not pushing himself into the conversation. He needed to have a more prominent role, and it just didn't happen. In 7th, Tim Scott. I like Tim Scott. Scott is a great candidate, but the debate stage didn't seem like his best platform. I've heard him speak. He didn't seem as strong on the debate stage. He seemed slow. He didn't get much time. He really felt overshadowed. So Tim Scott in 7th. At 6th, Chris Christie. Now this is interesting. There were high expectations for Christie to take on candidates like Trump, DeSantis, Vivek. And Christie did his best to take on those candidates, but he didn't have the same power that he had in 2016, say, against a candidate like Marco Rubio. I was disappointed by Christie's performance. Now we head up to Doug Burgum. Now when you're a low-tier candidate like Doug Burgum, you get a chance like this to get your name out there. And I think, given that he's a small-tier candidate, he did a good job. I think he stood out kind of above the fray, separate from the crowd, with a positive, small-town message. I think he introduced himself to a lot of people, and this debate likely helped him out. Next up is Mike Pence, as we near closer towards the top. Mike Pence was very combative with Vivek, which I want to talk about more later. But that really put Pence into the fray. I didn't think that Pence was going to be as hands-on, but he was. Interesting here, Mike Pence used Christianity as a big argument, especially in an abortion response. Next up on my list is Nikki. Nikki comes in 3rd for me. And this brings up an interesting point, a confrontation between Nikki Haley and Mike Pence. Haley took a more moderate stance on abortion.
But when you're talking about a federal ban, be honest with the American people. We haven't had 45 pro-life senators in over 100 years. So no Republican president can ban abortions any more than a Democrat president could ban all those state laws. Don't make women feel like they have to decide on this issue when you know we don't have 60 Senate votes in the House.
70% of the American people support legislation to ban abortion after a baby is capable of experiencing pain.
Pence took a more hardline stance with a federal ban, and that really created some tension there. Pence was on the attack during this debate, and I'm not sure that paid off. Okay, now in 2nd place, Vivek Ramaswamy. Many will argue he made 1st place, but I think he came off as annoying to some people. That really is a struggle. Also, he seemed to just get into the fray. He was in the middle of it.
The real choice we face in this primary is this. Do you want a super PAC puppet, or do you want a patriot who speaks the truth? Do you want incremental reform, which is what you're hearing about, or do you want revolution? Okay, and I stand on the side of the American revolution.
If you're a candidate like Vivek, that exposure is great. And that's why I still think of him as a winner, but I don't think he won the debate. I give the win to Ron DeSantis. Many will disagree with my pick here, but Ron DeSantis was able to stay above the fray. He was able to stay presidential. Those are 2 huge things. He also was able to make his standard case with his standard talking points. That is a win for Ron DeSantis. Also, DeSantis got a great, strong start. Check out this clip right here at the start of the debate.
Governor DeSantis, why is this song striking such a nerve in this country right now? What do you think it means?
Our country is in decline. This decline is not inevitable. It's a choice. We need to send Joe Biden back to his basement and reverse American decline. We also cannot succeed when the Congress spends trillions and trillions of dollars. Those rich men north of Richmond have put us in this situation.
DeSantis also was good at entering the conversation at the right time. He jumped in on a climate question where he attacked Biden. He pivoted to Hawaii. It was a pretty good move, I think, for him. It could have been an awkward question with a raise of hands on climate change, but he was able to turn it in a favorable direction. So I think DeSantis really comes off as strong in this debate. Now, I want to look at the big story of the night, which was Vivek versus all the other candidates. Let's start with Pence versus Vivek. This pair was at it really the whole night. Pence versus Vivek. Vivek came across as youthful, energetic, but possibly inexperienced. Check out this clip right here.
Now is not the time for on-the-job training. We don't need to bring in a rookie. We don't need to bring in people without experience. We need to bring
In that clip, you see Pence call Vivek a rookie. And I think that's a lot of the divide. Vivek is this new candidate. Mike Pence has been around for a while. And you see this distinction, this where they just battle there. And it was through the whole debate. That really surprised me. I think overall, Vivek came across as more youthful and energetic. At the same time, people may view Pence as more reasonable. I think it really could be a tie between those two candidates, but bringing huge attention to Vivek, which Vivek can use. Another attack against Vivek was with Chris Christie. Check out this clip.
Listen. I've had enough.
Wait, hold on.
I've had enough. I've had enough already tonight of a guy who sounds like ChatGPT standing up here.
Now that ChatGPT line from Christie sounds rehearsed, but you really saw Christie go against Vivek. Christie very much ignored Ron DeSantis. He had a few shots against Donald Trump, but he spent a lot of time against Vivek. He compared Vivek to Obama, which was an interesting back and forth. Check out that clip.
And the last person in one of these debates, Brett, who stood in the middle of the stage and said, "What's a skinny guy with an odd last name doing up here?" was Barack Obama, and I'm afraid we're dealing with the same type of amateur standing on stage tonight.
Come over and give me a hug. Give me a hug just like you did to Obama.
The same type of amateur.
And you'll help elect me just like you did to Obama, too. Give me that
the same type of amateur.
Hold on.
And then Christie and Vivek continued fighting when it came to Trump. Vivek really was a firm defender of Trump. He railed against the legal system, against these indictments, and there was a clash right there over a pardon for Trump. So Vivek really got into the fight here. Again, I think that exposure is good for him. But probably the biggest fight of the evening was when it came to the issue of foreign policy and Ukraine. Check out this clip from Nikki Haley attacking Vivek.
Ukraine is the first line of defense for us. And the problem that Vivek doesn't understand is he wants to hand Ukraine to Russia. He wants to let China eat Taiwan. And you are choosing a murder over a pro-American country.
First of all, Mr. Ramaswamy, you have 30 seconds. Mr. DeSantis,
Nikki, I wish you well in your future career on the boards of Lockheed and Raytheon.
You know, I'm not on the boards of Lockheed and Raytheon.
There you have it.
Under your watch,
so
you will make America less safe. You have no foreign policy experience, and it shows.
And you know what? The foreign policy experience that you all have shows in the pointless wars we've gotten into.
Here you see Pence and Haley advocating for a more traditional foreign policy strategy, and Vivek coming in with a very new, modern approach. And that right there was really, if I had to summarize this debate, it was everyone versus Vivek. Vivek standing out. That's a good thing, in that it'll bring him huge loads of exposure. But it could be a bad thing. So that was the first Republican debate. Make sure to subscribe to my page. We'll have many more videos coming soon.